for today.
Tonight, global tensions escalate after those tanker attacks in the Gulf of Oman. The U.S. now accusing Iran of shooting down one of its drones as Russian President Vladimir Putin takes a side. Breaking news, an outage at Target stores across the country causes long lines and tests shoppers' patience. How the company is responding tonight. The emergency at one of the country's busiest airports after a plane blows its tires and skids off the runway, shutting down operations for hours. A disturbing police response and claims of excessive force.
Get your hands up! Get out the car!
What led to the confrontation? The family planning to sue for millions. A tearful and angry Amanda Knox lashes out after returning to Italy for the first time since she was cleared in the murder of her roommate. A former state senator is found dead at home, and now her one-time campaign staffer is under arrest. And she's the pride of a community, becoming a mom for those rejected by their own families and starting a movement.
This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening. Tensions with Iran are escalating tonight after the attack on those two tankers this week in the Gulf of Oman. Much of the world's oil is shipped through the region, and the attacks, as well as harsh new rhetoric between the U.S. and Iran, sent shockwaves well beyond. And tonight, a new development, the U.S. military now claiming that two of its drones were also targeted by Iran. NBC's Courtney Cubie has the latest from Doha.
The crippled Japanese tanker Courageous arrived in port in the United Arab Emirates today, towed there 48 hours after it was attacked with explosives in the Gulf of Oman. The U.S. believes Iranian boats placed limpet mines on the Courageous and another ship, the motor tanker Altair. Iran denies being involved. The U.S. now saying two U.S. military Reaper drones were also targeted by Iranian forces. The first drone shot down by Iranian-backed Houthi rebels on June 6th near the Red Sea. The second Reaper was targeted by an Iranian surface-to-air missile. It missed, splashing down in the water below. NBC's Ali Arouzi is in Tehran.
Iran is blaming the U.S. for destabilizing the region, warning if the status quo continues, it'll roll back its commitments to the nuclear deal by next month. Tehran also relying on support from Russian President Vladimir Putin, who praised Iran at the meeting alongside Hassan Rouhani, calling their relationship multifaceted and multilateral.
Last month, the U.S. military sent the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln, B-52 bombers, and other military assets to this region. But U.S. defense officials say the Lincoln, the most visible U.S. deterrent at sea, was in port in Oman when the tankers were attacked. Jose?
Courtney Cubie in Doha, thank you. Breaking news tonight affecting one of America's most popular retailers. Shoppers at Target stores nationwide were left waiting after a computer issue kept registers running slowly or not at all on this Father's Day weekend. NBC's Kathy Park has the latest.
Business at one of the nation's top retailers came to a near halt today.
And to get it fixed, so I am sorry for the wait.
Target stores across the country, some paralyzed for about 2 hours by a computer outage that kept customers from buying anything. From coast to coast, cash registers down, as long lines of frustrated shoppers weren't sure if or when they get past checkout. On Twitter, some were determined to stick it out, others wondering why they came at all. Target, apologizing for the inconvenience, says it was an internal technology issue and that the registers are up and running now.
And Jose, Target says that this was not a data breach or security-related issue, and it adds that no customer information was compromised.
Kathy Park, thank you very much. In Arkansas, an ex-staff member is under arrest tonight after the death of a woman she worked for, a former state senator. We get more on that story from NBC's Morgan Chesky.
Tonight, a one-time campaign staffer arrested in connection with the death of former Arkansas lawmaker Linda Collins.
Rebecca Lynn O'Donnell, 48, of Pocahontas, is currently in custody.
The shocking announcement almost 2 weeks after a grim discovery rocked the tight-knit town of Pocahontas.
The dead body of a female was discovered at the residence of former Arkansas State Senator Linda Collins Smith.
Authorities staying tight-lipped on any motive, saying the investigation is at a critical juncture, only announcing the arrest of a woman who not only worked for Collins, but was seen as a friend. In response, the Collins family shared their shock, writing, "We are sickened and upset that someone so close to Linda would be involved in such a terrible, heartless crime."
I'm here today to announce that I have joined the Republican Party of Arkansas.
Collins elected to the Arkansas House as a Democrat in 2010, switching parties the following year. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson saying, "I'm both stunned and saddened. Collins Smith served in the public arena with passion and conviction." O'Donnell was not able to be reached for comment, but tonight, authorities say charges are pending. Morgan Chesky, NBC News.
A family in Arizona says it plans to file a $10 million lawsuit against the Phoenix Police Department because of the way officers responded to a recent incident, forcefully detaining the mother and father. It was all caught on camera. NBC's Molly Hunter has a story and a warning. The images are disturbing.
Get out the car!
With guns drawn, watch as an officer points directly at the SUV. Inside, Aisha Harper, pregnant with her 2 daughters.
Put your hands up. Hands up.
Her fiancé, Drayvon Ames, handcuffed.
Wait. When I tell you to do something, you do it. You're not complying with me.
The incident in May because their 4-year-old daughter stole a doll from a nearby dollar store.
They never mentioned the doll. They automatically came straight to us with like force.
They're terrorizing my family, and I just felt hopeless and defenseless.
The family now planning to sue the Phoenix Police Department for $10 million, claiming the officer used excessive force.
They were vicious, and they were out for blood. They were just untrained.
According to the police report, one of the officers feared Aisha was reaching for a weapon. But in a statement, the police chief says she's disturbed by the language and actions of our officer. An investigation is now ongoing.
Everybody has rights.
And they violated so many of them.
Molly Hunter, NBC News.
Some more breaking news. Delays tonight at Newark Airport, one of the nation's busiest, after a United Airlines jet skidded off the runway today, blowing multiple tires while landing. The flight inbound from Denver. The plane with 166 passengers went off the pavement. It got its landing gear stuck in a grassy area. United said some passengers suffered minor injuries. Overseas, a tearful and angry Amanda Knox spoke out in Italy today. It was her first time back in the country since she was acquitted of murder. And as NBC's Sarah Harmon reports, Knox lashed out at her critics.
For Amanda Knox, this was personal. Choking back tears and speaking in Italian, she condemned how the media handled her infamous murder case.
Psicopatica.
They painted me as a dirty, psychopathic man-eater, she said, guilty until proven otherwise. She was speaking out at a criminal justice forum. It's her first trip back to Italy. Cameras following her every move. The Seattle native spent 4 years in an Italian prison after being convicted of the 2007 murder of her roommate, fellow exchange student Meredith Kircher. Knox and her then-boyfriend, Raffaele Solocito, were both ultimately acquitted in 2015.
I'm so grateful to have my life back. Thank you.
Another man, Rudy Gaudet, was separately convicted of Kircher's murder. He's currently serving a 16-year sentence. But the Kircher family lawyer called Knox's return to Italy inappropriate and very painful. Knox, no stranger to the spotlight, is now determined to use her fame to set the record straight. Sarah Harmon, NBC News.
After mass protests this past week in Hong Kong, a major reversal today. Hong Kong's leader said she is suspending a bill that would have allowed the extradition of criminal suspects to mainland China. She said the decision was aimed at restoring calm after demonstrations and violence. It was an emotional day in Paris where they held a mass in the Notre Dame Cathedral for the first time since fire destroyed part of the landmark exactly 2 months ago. Kelly Kobiella has that story from Paris.
wearing hard hats and near a pile of debris, today a small group of priests, cathedral staff, and restoration workers celebrated the first Mass since Notre Dame's catastrophic fire. Inside, a detailed look of the open, charred roof of the iconic cathedral. The Mass held in the Chapel of the Virgin, a place deemed safe. Its stained glass windows a reminder of what wasn't lost.
I think it shows promise for the future, rebuilding and everything.
The April 15th fire destroyed Notre Dame's roof, the cathedral spire crashing down, stunning onlookers.
Oh my God, there's people just fell inside the church.
And prompting a worldwide outpouring of pledges to help restore the 850-year-old symbol of Paris. But only a fraction of the funds have come in, just $200 million of the almost $1 billion pledged. The Archbishop of Paris saying, we have to believe in people's words, otherwise we cannot live together. In the months since the fire, about 150 workers have been clearing the fallen gravel and trying to stabilize the cathedral. This safety phase is expected to last until about mid-August, when workers hope to turn their attention to the cathedral's rooftop. Jose?
Kelly Kobiella in Paris, thank you. A West Point cadet who was killed when his truck rolled over last week was laid to rest today. After a funeral at the West Point Chapel, Christopher Morgan was buried at the cemetery on the grounds of the U.S. Military Academy. He was remembered as an exemplary classmate and someone who was tremendously proud to be a cadet. And now to our ongoing series, My Big Idea, on the Democratic candidates running for president. Tonight, Harry Smith talks with former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper.
What's your big idea? My big idea is skills training. And we're facing right now a huge skills gap.
We met John Hickenlooper at a high-tech medical supply factory in Denver. The former Colorado governor is mightily interested in jobs because when he first moved out west, he lost his.
I got laid off as a geologist back in 1986. Government had nothing for me. 10,000 geologists lost their jobs. They just tried to, teach us how to write a resume and an application letter to get another geology job. There were none.
So Hickenlooper became an entrepreneur, started a brewery, which begat a string of successful restaurants. He was mayor of Denver twice, then served 2 terms as governor.
In Colorado, we have 12,000, 14,000 job openings for cybersecurity. We're one of the big centers of that, and they're unfilled.
His answer? A public-private apprenticeship program called CareerWise, aimed at young people who do not get 4-year college degrees. Kids start working in high school, earn, learn, and get college credit.
How high an awareness do you think there is across most of the people in the United States of the actual pressing need for this?
I think the awareness in terms of what the solution is relatively low. A national presidential campaign is a perfect place to change cultural awareness. Once we do that, then the solutions are right there.
Today, there are 7.5 million open jobs in the United States, and jobs of the future will require new skills. Giving people training to do them is John Hickenlooper's big idea. Harry Smith, NBC News, Denver.
And more tomorrow when Washington Governor Jay Inslee talks about his big idea. And the need to learn and teach new skills is being recognized somewhere else, quite possibly at your local public library, as many of them find their roles greatly expanding to fill a need in their communities. Here's Rahema Ellis.
It's one of America's most beautiful cities, but San Francisco is also one of its most expensive. With limited housing and the booming tech economy, widening the gap between the haves and have-nots.
I had nowhere else to go, and this is when I ended up out on the street.
On most days, former nurse Michelle Hatzarelis would join the crowd at the city's main public library, not just to read, but to find refuge. How long would you stay?
Anywhere between 3 to 5 hours.
Now, a growing number of libraries are trying to meet the needs in their communities.
Public libraries are a place of warmth, comfort, safety.
Leah Esquera became the nation's first full-time social worker ever assigned to a public library.
We bring the services to people in a way that's comfortable for them, and in a way that's compassionate and the one that promotes dignity.
Leah's job? Helping 7,000 people with employment, health issues, and counseling, and placing hundreds in permanent housing. The concept branching out to more than 30 libraries nationwide, even in small towns like Georgetown, Texas.
Everything from